daylight would come. I'm beginning to feel pretty cold. How about you? Hello? You haven't gone to sleep, have you?
No, I'm not asleep.
Oh, I thought you might have dozed off. I did a while ago. I refused to stay open any longer. I couldn't imagine where I was when I woke up. I had forgotten all about the damned wreck.
You're so fortunate not to be able to sleep. I wish I could sleep and just forget
Oh,
all
come now. You mustn't keep thinking about it. That won't do you any good. Brace up. We're sure to get out of this mess, all right? I figured it all out. You know how long the time it was between the time we hit the derelict? It was a derelict we hit, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Well, while this is going on all the time, if you remember, one of the officers had told me you had multiple responses from ships saying they were going to help us. One of them is sure to pick us up.
In this fog,
This will all go away as soon as the sun comes up. I've seen pain like this in my country places. I can make it short. Not as thick, but nearly as bad. And as soon as the sun came up, it'd be gone by the morning.
you do realize we are in the Grand Banks, the home of fog.
I must say, not a very cheerful companion. Why don't you look on the bright side? The Grand Banks? Well, I refuse to be scared.
My intentions aren't to make our situation seem worse than it really is. I have every hope that we will eventually be rescued, but I wouldn't hope for too much. It just makes disappointment more bitter when it comes.
I suppose you're right, but I can't help being optimistic.
Do you remember how downcast you were yesterday when we failed to hear a sound of a ship? Well, today is liable to be the same unless this fog lifts.
You're forgetting the fact there was no sun yesterday. That kind of weather can last forever.
Perhaps we couldn't see the sun on account of the fog.
I'll admit, I did feel pretty dismal yesterday. After that terrible thing happened.
You mean after the child died?
Yes. I thought that poor woman would never stop crying. Her cries were just awful, and this fog and no other sound anywhere.
It was the most horrible thing I've ever seen or heard of. How could anything be so full of tragedy?
It was enough to give anyone the blues. Besides, my clothes are wet, and I was freezing cold. You can imagine how merry I felt. Not that any there are now, but some may feel warmer.
Do you think the child's death was a terrible thing?
Why, of course. Don't you?
No.
But just a moment ago you
I
said...
was speaking of the mother's grief and despair, but death was kind to the child. It saved him many long years of sordid drudgery.
I don't know as I agree with you there. I believe everyone has a chance in this world. You just have to work hard, of course.
What chances did that poor child have? He was naturally sickly and weak from underfeeding. What glowing opportunities did life hold out that death should be regarded as a blessing? I mean, if he possessed the ordinary amount of ability and intelligence, considering the fact that he's an average child of ignorant Polish immigrants, then surely his prospects of ever becoming anything but a beast of burden weren't so bright, were they?
Why, of course not, but...
If you could bring him back to life, would you do so? Would you conscientiously drag him out of that fine sleep of his and make him face what he has to face? Leaving the poor mother's joy out of the question, would you do it for him individually?
Perhaps I'm looking at it from that standpoint.
There is no other standpoint. The child was birthed at disease with a hereditary ill that only the most vital men could shake off.
You mean?
I mean poverty. The most prevalent and deadly diseases of them all.
Oh, that's it, huh? Well, it seems like a pretty necessary disease and you're hardly ever find a cure for it. I take you're a bit of a reformer.
No, but there are times when the frightful injustice sickens me with life in general.
I find life pretty good. I don't know if I'd change it even if I could.
Spoken like a successful man. I mean, you are a successful man, are you not?
Yes, you can call me so, I guess. I've made my little pile here and there, but it was noisy time, let me tell you.
But you did have some advantages, did you not? You had plenty of food and a clean home and education and so forth.
I went to high school, of course, and had all the other things you mentioned. But my people weren't necessarily poor, but they also weren't necessarily rich either. Why do you ask?
Do you think you'd be satisfied and successful with life if you were born handicapped like that poor little child would have been if he were still alive?
Oh, I don't know. What's the use of thinking about what could have been? I'm not responsible for the way the world is run.
Supposing we are responsible.
What?
Supposing we, the self-satisfied members of society, are responsible. We see misery all around us and we do not care. As a matter of fact, we do not do anything about it. So, aren't we in fact partially responsible? Have you thought of that?
No, and I'm not going to start thinking about it now.
I see. It's a case of what Hecuba sees. They should weep for her.
Hecuba? You mean the woman? You can't accuse me of being heartless since there. I never felt so sorry for someone in my life. I was actually crying myself at one point. I felt so sorry for her. By the way, she hasn't been sensitive. It got dark last evening. Is she okay? Can you check up on her? She's nearer to you than I am.
She's very still. I hope she's okay. She's probably sleeping.
A little sleep would do her a world of good.
She still holds the body close to her breast. I suppose you.
Excuse my interrupting you, but have you noticed how light's been getting? It didn't strike me until now when you turned around. But I can tell that you're brunette. Or, yeah, just a few moments ago, I can tell if you're blonde or brunette, actually.
Now this fog would only lift.
This fog will lift. You wait and see. You'll find the amount of optimism is well justified. But what was it that you were saying just a moment ago?
I was saying I suppose you haven't seen this woman on board.
No. I was in the smoking room playing bridge most of the time. I'm not much of a sailor. Don't really care much about the water. I didn't even know what to hear because the wife and the girl's assistant we showed. I was bored to death. Anything to get away from it all. And no, sir. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. I built my business up from nothing. It's sort of like a child of mine. I take great pleasure in watching over it. And when I'm away, I'm uneasy. I hate leaving it in strange hands. And as for traveling, I know New York and the grand USA is good enough for me. But you guys ever seen the woman before? No. I'm sorry, I've never seen her. I've never went down to the steerage. I know some first class passengers did, but I never did. It's sort of a filthy hole, isn't it?
It's not so bad. I've spent quite a good deal of my time down there.
You're a row on a reform?
No, simply because I find the people in the steerage more interesting than those in the second class. Not a reformer, at least not in the professional sense.
Do you mind my asking what particular line are you in?
I'm a writer.
I knew you were something of the sorts. I knew you weren't a businessman the moment I heard those socialistic ideas of yours. Beautiful idea, socialist, but much too impractical. Never to come about, only a dream.
I'm not a socialist, especially. I'm just a humanist, that is all.
What particular kind of writing do you do?
I write poetry.
Not much money in that, is there?
No?
Say, is that a box of crackers near you? I'm beginning to feel pretty hungry. I never knew hardtack tastes so good. Aren't you gonna have some?
No. The thought of that poor woman just takes all my hunger away. I actually used to watch her play the steerage for their child, who is now dead. I'm guessing that was her only child. You should have seen the look on her face. It was so wonderfully tender as she bent over him. What would her life be now? Death has robbed her from the only recompense for her slavery. It seems such needless cruelty. Why wasn't I taken instead? For I have no family or friends to weep, and I'm not afraid to die.
You take things to heart too much. That's just like a poet. She'll forget probably sooner than you will. We all forget things sometimes. The devil world it would be if we didn't. You know, it's funny when you come to think of it. I mean, how we all ended up on this boat. It's a mystery to me how she ended up here. For there's no oars, yet there's plenty of food. And I don't know if you remember, but there's no like lifeboats. After all the women and children were lowered on, I was rowed away. The damn thing smashed into something before it started to leak like a sieve. And in spite of my bailing, I was soon in the water. But then that's when I heard the sound of voices. And I decided to swim to one of the other boats. I must have got twisted up in this fog for when I was pretty nearly all in at that point. It was this one. And you and she were in it. But what I want to know
It
is...
is easily explained. Have you ever felt so weary and disappointment of life that definitely appeared to you as the only way out?
Hardly. What does that
It
have
is
to...
easily explained. That is the way I felt. Sick of soul and longing for sleep. When the ship hit the derelict, it almost seemed providential. There was a solution to my answer. I was going to go down with the ship, and everyone that knew me was going to think of my death of an accident.
You mean you were gonna...
I was going to die. Yes. So I hid in the steerage, fearing that some of the officers were going to insist on saving my life in spite of me. When everyone finally left, I walked around the main deck. That's when I heard voices come from a dark corner. Here she was and her child. They were left behind, but it was wrong for them to be here, so I did the next best thing to do, and I looked around and I found this empty boat that has been half lowered down, and I went up and I persuaded the woman to go on, and I lowered the rest down. There she went, to the fog. The suspense was killing me.
I sincerely hope you've abandoned that suicide idea.
Yes, I have. Absolutely. I like to think that everything that has happened to me was omen sent by the gods to convince that my past is my past and my fortune will change for the better.
You know, it's sometimes a good thing believing in superstitions.
If I would have known what that poor woman would have undergone, then I would have left her there with the ship and I would have gone myself.
Stop thinking about it. You couldn't help that. I wonder what this child died of. I thought I was asleep when I heard it. Choke. And then cough. And then the next thing I knew, she was yelling. I'll never forget those screams for the rest of my life.
The child was naturally frail and delicate. I suppose the fright and the exposure combined created some kind of convulsion. He was dead when I went to go see what was the matter.
It's getting considerably lighter. Must be time for the sun to rise. If we're going to have any sun, that is.
It's right around this morning when that poor little child died.
Stop. Stop talking about it. She might wake up and start screaming again. I can't stand that.
She doesn't understand English.
She knows we've been talking about the child just the same. Mothers have an instinct. I've seen it proven more than once in my family.
Have you ever lost any of your children?
No, thank God.
You may as well thank God, even if people do, as he claimed, forget so easily.
You're not married, are you?
No.
I knew you weren't married. People with artistic temperaments tend to run towards the flames more than wives.
Did you hear that?
Did I hear what?
Just a moment ago when you were speaking, it sounded like a steamer's whistle or something. There. Don't you hear it now?
My God. It's a steamer!
She must be coming this way. Oh, look.
I can't see a rotten thing. Damn this fog! If only it will just lift!
It will lift. Let's hope it will. We run as much risk of being run down than actually being saved. They couldn't see us 20 feet away in this.
Can't we yell or make some type of noise to get their attention?
No, there's no use to. They're too far. We're just gonna have to wait till they get closer. How cold the air is. It was my imagination.
No, I've been feeling it too. I've been freezing to death for the past 5 minutes.
Shh. Don't you hear that?
What, the whistle? I heard it just a moment ago.
No, it sounds like running water or something. There. Don't you hear it now?
Yes, but what can it be? There's no water for what is under us. But it's chilly.
How long's gonna be frozen by the time she wakes up?
It's getting louder and louder every minute.
Perhaps it may be land, but I highly doubt it's that.
My God, what is that?
It's an iceberg. Steady there, you'll be in the water in about a minute if you're not careful enough. Lucky for us, it's calm or we'll be smashed into pieces.
As it is, we'll only freeze to death, if that's what you mean.
Come, help me push this thing away from the boat. My hands are freezing.
No use of putting any effort. This boat is way too heavy. You can't get up there on ice.
I never thought of that.
Never thought of what?
The steamer, man! The steamer! Think of all the danger she is in. If she comes this way, she'll slam into the iceberg and sink.
We'll yell when they get nearer to us.
Don't do that. She's gonna think it's cries of help and come right this way. Not a sound.
What if we don't yell? They're reliable to pass right by us and not even know it.
We can die, but we can't let others die just to save our own lives. God, she must be right on top of us.
She's going away. I'm not gonna stay here and die on account of your full ideas! Help! Help!
Should have known what to expect.
Help! Help! I'll get even with you, you loafer, if you ever get to shore.
She's already gone anyways.
She must have hit something after all.
No. I didn't hear any shouts. That can't be them. It wasn't them. It was just the iceberg. A piece of it fell. Must have been melting.
That thing almost crushed us! We're gonna be crushed like flies if we stay here. I'll take my chances to swim for it, and stay here and die if you like. Let go of me! This is alright for you. You want to die. You want me to die too, you murderer?
You fool! You couldn't even swim in this for 5 minutes! You'll die in the water! Be sensible! Act like a man!
She's getting near us again.
Is that them?
Hello there.
Hello?
Are you people off the Starland?
Yes! You see? My optimism was justified after all. I sincerely hope you can forget the unpleasant between us. I must admit, I was a bit rattled. I wasn't really thinking straight.
I had forgotten all about it.
Thank you. You certainly are a welcome sight.
Look how funny I can land on. Oh, wasn't it? What made things to this bird?
Well, it was pretty cold, but we didn't have any oars to drift us away from this iceberg.
Woman sick?
She has been asleep.
Where's the cake?
In her arms, but how did you
It
know?
wasn't pretty crying. Couldn't have missed you. Why didn't you give us a shout or make some sort of ruckus?
We thought you were running into this berg and crash.
But we couldn't have missed you, not had an inkling.
Officer, in a situation like that, one has to take chances.
That's very fine of you, I must say. Most people have only thought of themselves. As it was, hasn't been for the kid crying, we couldn't have missed you. I was on the bridge with the first officer when we've been worried about this bird. And as the fog rose up, we slowed down. The two were very creeping and stopped together. The stream wanted to be stopped when we heard the cry. And I said to the first officer, it sounds like a kid falling, doesn't it? And he thought so too. It kept getting plainer and plainer, and everything was so still and so quiet. And now the fog was heavy. And we heard the cry again. And it said again, it sounds like a kid crying for sure. But how the devil did it get out here? Then remember, we've been ordered to keep a lookout for any survivors of the Starland. The first officer says, they probably some of the poor devils off the Starland. He ordered me to lower a boat, so I grabbed my compass and jumped in. We can keep the kid crying all the time. Couldn't we?
Yes,
Yes, sir. That's how I was able to shape direct course towards you. I was hearing my sound. That's right. Break her up. I see her will be headed any moment now. She must be stiff as cold. Back to the line to the boat. We'll tow her back to the ship.
Poor happy woman.
Well,
The woman is dead.
dead? Too bad. Well, the child's alright, of course.
The child died over 24 hours ago.
It's been out of his head, isn't he? I suppose you like this if I lost him that way.
He told you the exact truth of the matter.
Of course. All fast?
Aye, aye, sir.
Are you coming in or staying where you are?
I'd rather stay with the dead.
Cheerful, beggar.
Officer, we've told you the exact truth, as I said. And the story you just finished telling us is completely and utterly bizarre.
Everyone knows.